Well guys, it's that time again. Time for yet another installment of your favorite news program. That's right, the one of the devil variety, or angel variety? We'll get to that later. So much shit has happened since the last Devil News report dropped, and I am so excited to go over it with all of you today. And what better place to begin this report than where the last one left off, with the period of time where Frozen was writing some alarming comments on other creators' videos, expressing a desire to end her life, and Rob responding with a post basically saying he doesn't care if she takes her life or not. Well, shortly after this, Devil wrote several more posts and comments, proudly proclaiming that he does not give a shit if the girl he's been harassing since she was a teenager does anything to herself. It even says he hopes she burns in hell. Yeah, what an amazing person this guy is, am I right? Moving on from this, we arrive at Fan Channel, making a post mocking Devil for the embarrassingly low view count on his YouTube shorts. Devil's response to this was to accuse Fan of stealing his images by posting a screenshot including his list of shorts, which I guess now is considered stealing content. Thanks for updating me on that, Mr. Cartoon Manchild. Really appreciate it. Devil also feels the need to include some sexual stuff in his response post, because of course he does. Then, following the tragic passing of Toby Keith, Devil posts a drawing he did in honor of the late country music legend. However, he wasn't able to stay on topic for very long, and quickly turned what could have been a nice tribute into another angry drama post. He also brings up Tom Richmond, who is one of the artists Devil regularly takes inspiration from, meaning he redraws his stuff and posts it to his channel without even crediting him. This guy is so self-absorbed that he took an unprovoked jab at one of the successful artists he likes to rip off of on a post that was meant to commemorate the life of someone who died. Our next bit of drama is sort of a continuation of the events chronicled in my video titled Don't Listen to This YouTuber, where Rob begins calling Boogie808 a pedophile while refusing to provide evidence to support such an accusation. In an attempt to remedy this, Rob screen recorded and reposted a video from a young girl's YouTube channel where she is defending Boogie from the same type of accusations Rob is currently throwing at him. She says that Boogie has never been creepy to her or acted in any predatory way. This was enough for Rob, however, to justify labeling Boogie as a pedophile. I personally have not seen anything that indicates Boogie as a predator. No incriminating recordings of things such as messages or voice calls. No victim statements. Nothing that tells me that Boogie is a bad person like that. Boogie himself has also said that he's never spoken with this girl outside of YouTube. Now, if any evidence like this does come to my attention, I will absolutely acknowledge it. Same with anybody else. But there's just not enough evidence presented here to warrant labeling anybody as a pedophile. I think now would be a great time to make something perfectly clear. While I do not think Boogie808 is a pedophile, I don't think Devil is a pedo either. I think he's an egotistical piece of shit, and things like the potato chip drawing was disgusting and abhorrent, and he definitely needs to be called out for that. I don't, however, believe any of that was motivated by pedophilia. As you'll see later on in this video, the guy's definitely a huge pervert, but I don't necessarily think he's a straight up pedophile. So with that out of the way, let's return to the main story. So in the description of the aforementioned video, Devil also refers to Melody, Captain Crunch, and Firewolf as pedos. Three people that have nothing to do with the topic being discussed. Devil just thought it was appropriate to throw whoever's name he could think of into the description and be like, yeah, they've been exposed too, in an attempt to slap a life-ruiningly negative reputation on as many of his detractors as possible. Captain would call Devil out for this, and bring up the fact that he lost his original Artist Devil channel for drawing cartoon porn. Devil goes on to make the outrageous claim that the 2 different times his channel was terminated, it wasn't due to guidelines violations, but because he was hacked. He creates his own lore to explain his channel's terminations, saying the first time his channel was gone for a period of time before eventually being able to get it back, Fan Channel had hacked him, but for some unexplained reason, Fan was forced to hand deliver the channel back. And his second and more permanent termination was a hacking job performed by some guy named Ryan that Rob played WWE 2K with. This is, as far as I know, the one and only time a person named Ryan is mentioned by him. This whole situation serves as a hilarious example of just how unwilling Devil is to accept loss in any way. Whenever he's in the wrong, there's always an excuse right around the corner. He's gotta have one of the worst personality types imaginable. Holy shit. Also, Rob, are you aware of a thing called two-step verification? Because you seem to have a pretty big hacker problem, and that would probably help you out a lot. Just keep that in mind. Trying to help you out, bro. Following that, we get to observe some more fighting between Devil and Frozen art, and as a result, we get some real insight on what an entitled piece of shit this guy is. Like the Boogie 808 drama, this is something that I've already made a video going over, but a lot more had happened after I uploaded that video, and it definitely deserves a lot more attention than I've previously given it. So what started this whole shit show was Devil practicing one of his favorite battle tactics, making a community post challenging his enemies to, you guessed it, a drawing contest, which is something he does all the time, and the few times somebody actually does decide to take him up on the contest, no matter what, he's gonna declare himself the winner and start crying when anybody disagrees with his assessment. Usually people either ignore or refuse to take his challenges, and that can really piss off Devil, like the time when Captain wouldn't take his Skeletor drawing challenge, and Rob tried to blackmail him with the threat of calling CPS to get him to compete. A similar type of angry outburst occurred here when Rob noticed Frozen was paying no attention to his stupid-ass drawing contest and continued to post her own artwork completely unrelated to any drama. Rob took to his community wall to post multiple messages attacking Frozen and demanding an art contest from her. Frozen would respond back with posts of her own and later a live stream, at the same time of which Wolfden, one of Devil's main supporters, booted up a stream as well, which amounted to just a few hours of Devil bitching about those dastardly internet people. The only thing that was really worth taking note of for me was a point in the stream where Rob tried to justify his sudden attack on Frozen by saying her asking for drawing requests was an open challenge and we made it, quote, look like a tragedy because he, quote, said something.
What the fuck's she gonna do with 3K? I mean, what's she gonna do? Add more fucking people to try to harass other people online because she's stuck? She did this what I don't understand, right? What Boogie and all of them was sitting there saying this shit, right? Now she made an open challenge for her to draw anything requested. Just because I said something, they made it look like it was a tragedy. She said it out of her fucking mouth. She said, if anybody got a request for me to draw anything, let me know. So I challenged her, and they got mad and started trying to defend her and all kinds of dumb shit.
Most of us are able to understand the difference between a request and a challenge. But there are some people out there, like Devil, whose donuts aren't fully powdered, who might need a brief explanation. Frozen was taking art requests. She was asking her supporters to give her ideas for future art projects. There was nothing competitive about what Frozen was doing. Rob came out of nowhere and decided to antagonize her as well as insult her and her artwork multiple times, trying to demand her to do this contest. And now is telling everyone that Frozen started it by doing her own thing and posting her own artwork completely separate from any drama she's involved in, hoping that people will see him as the victim in the situation due to him being rightfully called out for this. The fact of the matter is, he was the aggressor here. This is why I urge people not to listen to a single word this guy says. He tells lies like most people breathe air, and it's not worth it to get sucked into his void of bullshit. Do not take anything this guy says seriously, unless someone more reputable is there to back up what's being said. He alone cannot be trusted with passing along information. They also spend a lot of time mocking Frozen's voice acting in a movie trailer she posted, something that had nothing to do with any drama that's currently going on, and these guys still want you to believe that Devil is not the aggressor in this situation. In response to the hate being thrown her way by Rob, Frozen would post an animated short video of Knuckles beating up a cartoon version of him. This 2-second long animation of a children's video game character attacking Devil, the same guy who has drawn pictures of his YouTube enemies being shot in the head, hung by trees, being decapitated, and performing sexual acts on each other, wouldn't stand for this unflattering depiction of him, and in retaliation, drew her as a sex toy. This gross drawing resulted in backlash against Devil from his detractors, including Captain Crunch, who called him a pervert, which would elicit the response from him that Captain is really a, quote, big pervert, as evidenced by the fact that he has children. This is a 45-year-old man, by the way. For all the parents out there, just know, this guy considers you a pervert. Following this, Rob and his wife's feelings would prove to be too sensitive to continue with this internet sparring match that Rob instigated, and in search of a swift end to this drama, Rob's wife contacted Frozen's mother, crying to her that Frozen was bullying and harassing them. This resulted in Frozen being forced to delete her YouTube channel. The action of having his wife cry to somebody's parents for engaging in drama that he started is something that Rob was so proud of that he felt the need to brag about it. A YouTuber named Trout W Reacts was someone that Rob had spoken with in private DMs, excitedly recounting how he chased this young girl off of the internet by bitching to her parents about how mean she was being to him. As a quick side note, I'm sure neither Rob nor his wife said anything to Frozen's parents about how he wished their daughter would burn in hell if she were to commit suicide. Just putting that out there. Anyway, while talking to Trout W, Rob blatantly lies to him, telling him that Captain Crunch groomed Frozen, resulting in Trout W mentioning it in the video he made about Frozen leaving YouTube. After receiving some backlash from our community for platforming this false information, Trout W would delete the video and start up a live stream in order to apologize. Trout W did the right thing by owning up to his mistake here. There's plenty of people that wouldn't have done this if they were in his position, so I've got to give him respect for that. Devil, however, would not be anywhere near as respectable as Trout W was, as he would take to the comment section of that stream to reaffirm his baseless accusation that Captain Crunch is a groomer, making the claim that he has videos and screenshots of him telling lies. He doesn't specify what lies Captain told, but I assume he means to say that Captain was lying about not being a groomer, and Rob has video and photo evidence that proves this. Boogie808 makes a really good point, telling Rob that he should leave Trout W out of his drama, per his request, if Rob really was a friend of his. Upon seeing Devil's comment, I ask him to show us the evidence he claims he has, instead of just crying about his possession of said evidence in YouTube comment sections. He replies to me by telling me everything I have on him is made up, and I ask him to give me an example of something I made up, a request that has so far gone completely ignored. As Rob had seemingly deserted this conversation, following me asking what should have been a very easy question to answer, given how confident he was in stating that I make up everything I say about him. One would assume he'd be able to come up with at least one example of this, but to the disappointment of myself, and I'm sure all of you watching at home, that doesn't appear to be the case here. Sorry, guys. I am so goddamn sorry. Okay, look. I'm sorry, guys, okay? I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. He's the one that won't give us the evidence that I'm making stuff up about him. I don't know what to do. I can just sit here and apologize to you guys because he's giving us nothing here. He's giving us absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry! The next bit of drama I want to go over begins with a post Captain Crunch made showing photos of the building process of a walkway to his pool. Multiple people would leave comments on this post, but the one that got Devilman's attention was Candy's World, who complimented Captain on the walkway, not mentioning the whiny, art-stealing Manchild in any way whatsoever. He was so offended by this, however, that he would take to his art channel to post a picture of Candy's house after a tree fell on it during a storm, while also accusing Captain of trying to lure children to his pool, providing nothing in terms of evidence to back this up. Like always. So in response to Rob's unprovoked attack on Candy, she booted up a live stream, joined by Captain and later on myself, where all three of us were pressuring Devil to join the panel to engage in an actual discussion. Rob was a no-show to the stream, and it would be possible for him to have not noticed the stream was going on if he didn't post to his community wall crying about the live stream while it was still live. After this, Captain Crunch and Wolfton would start fighting for a short period of time before the two would make peace after Captain joined Wolf on one of his live streams and they agreed to stop attacking each other. My only purpose for bringing this up is because later on during that stream, after Captain left the panel, Rob would come up and tell everyone that the same type of peace agreement between him and Captain would be impossible, because Rob wants Captain Crunch dead.
Yeah, but it can't be solved, because I want to kill him.
Okay.
Wow.
It can't be solved. He went too far.
He what?
He went too far.
With
What did he
the
do?
what with the picture or what?
He went too far on trying to defend Frozen and all this other shit.
That's right. According to Rob, Captain Crunch has gone too far by defending Frozen, and now Rob wants to murder him. At this point, I don't need to list off the type of things Rob says and does on a regular basis. If you've been watching up until this point, I'm sure you have a general idea. But it's interesting to me that he can do all of that and appear to be genuinely surprised and believe himself to be the victim when met with backlash over it. But Captain Crunch calling him out and doing things like defending Frozen art is, quote, taking things too far, and justifies wanting to kill him. I'm sure there's scientists scientists out there that can use Devil's sense of entitlement and victimhood to build nuclear weapons. His living room's gotta be like a crybaby Chernobyl. Later on, Boogie808 would use an AI photo generator to make a comedy video parodying a comic book about Rob and Captain Crunch duking it out in the street. Rob would respond hilariously to this by making a community post declaring that Boogie made a quote big mistake by generating AI photos of Captain Crunch because Rob now has images of Captain he can use for reference in future drawings. Like, just take a second to think about how incredibly funny that is. This is a guy that has spent countless hours propping himself up as one of the biggest artists on YouTube and talking shit on multiple people, saying they're not as good as him, that they're jealous of his talent, etc. And now here he is, this self-proclaimed great and talented artist, quite literally threatening to steal AI-generated images. I can't believe an artist as talented as this guy says he is so creatively bankrupt that instead of using his own imagination to come up with drawings of Captain Crunch, he instead plans to steal AI art and then brags about it, like that's some giant win for him. Well, newsflash, Devilman, that's not a victory at all. For a super talented professional artist, having to leech off of AI images somebody else generated has to be like rock bottom's rock bottom. That's awful. I'm not even an artist, and that gives me secondhand embarrassment. So he would definitely go on to post his own variation of Boogie's AI images of Captain to his community wall, and of course, he made it sexual, like always. Fan Channel would also post some alternate versions of Rob's artwork, including the image Rob drew of Captain Crunch in Candy's world chasing after a group of children, except with photos of him and his wife's faces edited onto Captain and Candy's. Devil responds back to Fan Channel's photoshopped version of his drawing by photoshopping his own drawing, putting the faces of his YouTube enemies on the heads of his own cartoon characters, even going as far as to put Captain Crunch's face onto Captain Crunch's cartoon character. I really couldn't tell you why he did that, but apparently this photoshopped faces drama was the straw that broke the camel's back for our favorite arrogance-riddled cartoonist guy, because after this, he made the seemingly spontaneous decision to change his channel name from Mr. Cartoonist to Art Angel. There's a lot of possibilities as to why he changed his channel name. I don't know why he did, but a possibility could be that he wanted to move on from the drama and start fresh with a semi-new identity. If that just so happens to be the case, he's already failed miserably. As an example of this, soon after his name change, Fan Channel posted a video going over the time where Devil had tried telling people that a drawing he posted that was directly taken from another studio was actually his, only to be swiftly exposed by Fan Channel for lying and trying to pass off somebody else's artwork as his own. In retaliation, Rob used a drawing of his face, originally made by Captain Crunch, and used by Fan to cover Rob's StreamYard icon in the video, as a reason to cry to YouTube and get the video removed for a copyright violation. The drawing the Art Angel whined to YouTube about never belonged to him, it had always belonged to Captain Crunch, and is used by Fan with Captain's full permission for his videos. Rob was able to do this by posting a video of his own, including the drawing, to his secondary channel called Mr. Illustrator, and using that to prove it was his drawing. YouTube gave Fan the link to that video in the email they sent to him when the strike was issued, and Fan was able to successfully copyright strike him back. Rob would lie numerous times to try to cover for himself here, including lying about even sending the copyright strikes out to begin with, claiming it, quote, wasn't his channel that had Fan struck. I assume what he intended to tell people here was that the person behind striking Fan Channel was one of the newly established troll accounts taking jabs at Rob's new name change. He would also lie about Fan being able to strike his channel, showing the empty strike list on his main channel, Art Angel, as opposed to his backup channel, Mr. Illustrator, which is where the strike would be, after being quickly called out for this and pressured to show the strike list on his Mr. Illustrator account. In an effort to prove his secondary channel doesn't have a strike on it, he posts up a screenshot of the strike list for that channel, and what do you know? There's no strikes on it. Rob was telling the truth after all. Wait a minute. God damn it, fake sponsor. What did I tell you about altering my script when I'm not looking to throw me off when I'm broadcasting? That's not cool, bro. But yeah, no, ignore that last part. Instead of just showing the strike list, Rob attempts to fool everybody, once again, by posting a video to his backup channel, proclaiming in the description that him even uploading a video is proof enough that he doesn't have a strike. Even though you absolutely can post content with a copyright strike, the only time where you can't upload videos as a result of copyright strikes is when you're hit with a second one less than 90 days after your first one, in which case you won't be able to upload for 2 weeks. Nothing about Rob being able to put videos on that channel proves he has no strikes. He's trying to weasel his way out of being expected to show the strike list because he's fully aware there's a strike on it, and he's also fully aware that he's lying in order to avoid acknowledging that. This is such a petty and ridiculous hill to die on, but here we are. My only guess is that this is him not wanting to admit defeat to Fan Channel in any way, but all he's doing is continuing to humiliate himself. At this point, he should spare himself the embarrassment and just be honest about the strike. He also lies about Boogie 808 again, trying to expose him for hanging out with 10th graders, because in a YouTube comment, Boogie mentioned a friend he had in the 10th grade. Everyone other than the Art Angel is able to perfectly understand that Boogie was talking about someone he was friends with while they were both in the 10th grade. He's obviously talking about this in the past tense. I have no idea if he genuinely misunderstood what Boogie was talking about, or if he was once again maliciously spreading lies. Either scenario is a possibility, but what's a certainty is that even though he's completely rebranded his channel, the Art Angel is still the same artist devil we all know and despise. And with that, we conclude the latest installment of Devil News. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're all awesome, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your existence. I'd stay a little while longer, but the real news reporters are coming in soon, and I've got to get back to the break room before they realize I've been using their equipment without them knowing about it. Anyway, catch you guys in the next one. Shit!